Hi, Tracy here, and I have a layout in process that I titled California Poppies. My family and I went to, minus one of my kids, we went to see the poppies here in California. And so here's some pictures, and I'm using the April Scraptastic Worth Wondering kit. I thought it was Worth Wandering, but I wrote on here Worth Wondering. One of those. And I use this kit because the oranges of these pictures, I mean, they're just drastically orange because poppies are orange. So that was a little bit of a challenge in doing this layout, but then I found these papers and I actually flipped that one over and I go with the polka dot side. I was going to use the green chevron side, but then the polka dot looked better. So anyway, those papers went with the orange. These are they're called filter paper. This is from my stash, and it's Fancy Pants Designs, I believe. It's old stuff. A friend gave it to me. So I don't even know if you can still get it, but I made a flower out of these by using different sprays. I'm using Lindy's Stamp Gang, and they're the flat Fabios. So I got a set of the flat Fabios. I want to get another set of Lindy's Stamp Gang, but I want to get the other ones that have more color to them. And then I'm using Heidi Swap. I used gold and chartreuse. And so I'm drying them just a little because they got really wet from the ink. And then I'm going to scrunch them up because I want them to have a wrinkled look. Oh, here I'm adding the green. Sorry. That's the chartreuse. And I'm using the gold because I'm going to use this gold paper. Oh, and I threw away the manufacturer strip. So I don't know the name of that paper. It's on my mind's eye paper, I'm pretty sure. And then the other two papers, I'll tell you those. But anyway, back to this flower, I used gold because I'm going to use that gold and white striped paper to mat this page. And then that gold, it just really worked for this layout. I liked the gold accent to it. So the polka dot paper is my mind's eye now and then. Mildred. Okay, here I am. I had those already had like a pinking sheer look to them. They were perfect circles, and now I'm cutting them out and making them not perfect, more flower petal looking. I am into making my own flowers lately. I made all those fabric flowers, and now I've made more. And now I'm making a paper one. This is a piece of gold paper that I got from Tuesday morning that I added. And then I was going to add a piece of the stripe to make a petal, and I go through all the effort of cutting it out and everything, but I don't care for it. So, oh yeah, see, that is my mind's eye now and then paper. I can see the strip here. I don't know the name of the paper, but at least now you know the line. And then I wanted to tell you the ampersand paper. Sorry for the crinkling. I forgot to pull these out before I started recording. Okay, so that ampersand paper is October Afternoon Daily Flash. Girl Talk is the line, and it's Giggle is the name of it. And here I'm going to add another layer of that gold. And then I didn't quite make that one big enough, so I add a couple extra petals to the other side. And the flower's going to be just like that. And I wanted to have it like a flower look going all around the edge. And so I thought, oh, I'll cut and make my own mask. And then I realized, oh, I'm going to have my silhouette. I'm going to do it with my silhouette. So here I'm looking at it and I realize, and so then I took and made this mask. I just used a black cardstock to make it because I don't have any template, that plastic. I don't have any of that. So I'm using the same inks again, and I struggle here with my Lindy's Stamp King sprayer. It was not cooperating. And then I come back and I'm going to add some Mr. Huey's orange. Can't remember the name of that one, but I added an orange color because it wasn't quite orange enough, and I was really wanting it to be an orange gold. So it got very wet, so I do have to dry it with my heat gun here for quite some time because it was real wet, and it did of course crinkle up the paper, but because it's matted, because I'm matting it on another piece of paper and glue, and I use my ATG to attach it down, that really does help to flatten it out. So here I'm going through my pens and I choose this Tombow. It's a new pen I just got. And I'm outlining the flowers. And to me right now, the reason why I'm outlining them is so that they'll really pop. Because when it was just the ink, it looked funny to me. And even still, as I'm outlining, now I'm going back with a extra small pit pen or Faber-Castell, and I'm doing this to make it look drawn and a little bit messy drawn, not super messy, but I do not want it to be perfectly outlined. So I use that to add a little, I'm trying to think of the word for that. It's like, it's nicely outlined without being so perfectly outlined. And I still don't think it looks like flowers. It still looks like gold clouds, and which is not the look I was looking for. So then I think maybe I should just go back to craft paper. So I'm comparing the two, and I'm like, no, I really like the gold, but what can I do? So here's where I take the extra small fine pen again, and I draw lines that add the detail to the flower, like the flower center and lines in each petal that make it look more like a petal. And I had also cleaned up each of my outlines again. I just kept kind of playing around. And you'll see in the end, in the close-up, it really made a difference. So now, looking at it, it looks like flowers. I mean, it totally looks like flowers. So I was real happy with that. So now I decide I'm going to outline, and instead of using my watercolors that are metal, and there's a gold that would have worked, but I realized so that it matches exactly perfectly, I use the ink. So I just got my brush a little wet, well, a lot wet, so that it wouldn't absorb up all the ink, and then, because if you use a dry brush, I would have had to use more ink. So I just got the brush wet, and then I just put some of the ink into that paint thing and painted with it. So now I'm going to cut out the rest of the center of this paper because I really like it and I don't want to waste it. So now that's my mat. And that's enough because the cardstock, the craft is very thick and strong, and so is the stripe paper. So now I'm inking around a little bit. Lots of ink on this page. And I'm I'm able to do the paper in just a way that the pink circles get covered up, which is perfect because the pink clashes entirely. I don't care for that at all. And now I'm going to create my center of my flower using, well, first I'm gluing it together. And then I'm going to use 3 different sized whatchamacallums enamel dots. And I popped up the picture of my daughter. I really like that picture, how I took it kind of crooked. It's just a fun picture to me. Okay, so at first I do the flower with that all the same color enamel dots. I am going to come back and change that. And now I'm digging into the embellishments from the kit. Love the butterflies. Their cork butterflies are perfect for this layout. And I love the ampersand of the cork too. So I'm trying to figure out what to do up in that corner for another cluster, but everything I'm doing is just too much. I'm really not caring for it. I just was really wanting something very simple, and that's when I realized, oh, I should just put a butterfly up there. And that's what I go with. And then I'm creating the cluster over to the right. That again all came from the kit, including that badge right there. And the little tags and stuff, those are October Afternoon. They're also from the Girl Talk line. The little die cut pieces. So that's essentially how it's going to go. And that little just a note was the perfect size because I wanted to journal on this page, but I didn't need to journal a whole bunch. I have other pictures that I'm still going to be scrapbooking, and also it was, I really had just wanted to say that, you know, here we were seeing the poppies, and that we had gone with Grandma and Nana. And then I mentioned that we stopped for some antique shopping on the way. And I think in my other layout, I may go a little more in depth on the antique store that we found because it was a very cool store. So on the butterflies, I'm putting enamel dots on their little body. And throughout I'm using orange and greens on the enamel dots, and then I realize I need to do a little something different in the center of that flower, which I'm really glad I did because looking at it on the video, it's a lot different with the other colors on when I'm looking at the actual layout itself. That little flower badge was perfect. I know it's roses or some other kind of flower. I don't know. It's not roses, but but it has little dots of orange on the sprigs coming off of the flowers, and then it's the green in the background. So it was just the perfect little badge for this layout. So here I am looking for my title, and I know I want my gold letters. There they are. I had to search for those, and so then it was just a matter of what am I going to do California with, and I use these. These are a foam thicker. And then I'm doing poppies down there. It turns out those are D's, backwards, upside down D's, and then I found the real P's. That was kind of funny. And then these foil gold letters I had gotten from TJ Maxx a while back, and excuse me, I always have to glue them down because they will fall off. The foam ones are great. They don't do that, at least in my experience. So there's my title, and that's it. There's my close-ups. You'll see in the close-ups how I drew the flowers better. You can see it better in the close-ups. There you go. And I just love it. I really love how this layout turned out. I had a blast doing it, and I'm real happy how it turned out. So anyway, so I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.